single star can light up the night. Oh, and we are summoned as soldiers to fight the ills of the earth, to place high on our shoulders the people we serve.
Actually, probably the most meaningful was actually sitting there and watching all my classmates do it and realizing it was one that the guy who was sitting next to me pointed out. He's like, they look more professional. Immediately, you put that coat on and you look professional. You look like you're a doctor.
But the actual day was just wonderful. And it seemed like as, you know, we put our own coats on or seeing my other classmates put theirs on, you know, it felt, well, I looked smarter and felt smarter. But, you know, it was just a special thing. And I mean, I wish we could have one every few months.
Then I want to thank you for something else, because this is my son's match day in Minnesota, and I can't be there with him. So I want to thank you for sharing your match day with me, a proud mother. I don't know where he's going yet. I'm going to call him and find out. So this year's a very special year to me, for me, because when I put all of you in Lawrence in just a few weeks, I'll be sort of celebrating my son's graduation too. So congratulations to all of you. Very best wishes. You're going to take the best wishes of your school to your residencies. And we're going to miss you all, but you're going to make us very proud.
I'm matching in pediatrics. I have 7 programs ranked. My top choice is Northwestern. They have a great program. They have a freestanding children's hospital for their pediatrics program.
Northwestern in Chicago, and I'm really excited. I can't wait to get started. I'm going to do pediatrics there, so looking forward to it.
I want to match in med peds at KU. When I came to medical school, I thought I would do family medicine because I knew I wanted to take care of the whole lifespan.
Very happy to announce that I matched at KU here. That was my first choice, and I'll be doing med peds.
I hope to match here at KU in family medicine. I've been impressed with their program, with the residents, with the staff here. Everybody's so nice, and I just think I'd fit in well. We'll see what happens.
Matched here for family medicine, staying at KU. First choice, so I got my first choice. Very excited. Good people to work with. Gonna be a good year.
That is a really tough decision. It's probably the toughest decision in medical school. I mean, talking to my friends, there's so many factors that go into play as far as the city, the program, the school, and maybe what's going to happen after that. So I'm actually hoping to match in Atlanta at Emory University.
And it wasn't necessarily that I had my heart set on Emory. I was mentally preparing myself to go to Emory, kind of saying, that's where I think I'm really pretty sure I'm going to be there. So now I have to readjust my thinking and think, okay, I'm going to be at Denver.
I'm hoping to stay. I'm doing internal medicine for my residency, so that's adult medicine. So I'm hoping to stay.
I matched here at KU. I'll be staying for another 3 years, and I'm doing internal medicine. And that was my first choice and my only choice, actually, and I'm really happy that I'm going to be staying.
Our plan all along had been to stay in Kansas City for residency, but we, as an afterthought, we went down to Oklahoma to check out the program there, and we're really impressed by it and decided almost reluctantly to go ahead and rank it our #1 spot, but we did, and we'll see what happens.
I matched at Baptist here in Kansas City in family practice. That was my #2 choice. It was a surprise to me, but at the same time I think it was a blessing in disguise. My wife and I had kind of placed the match process into God's hands, and we wound up with our #2, and we're excited about that. #1 would have taken us away from town. #2 keeps us here in town, closer to friends and family.
Making it through those 4 years and coming out and knowing that you survived it, and you can make it through all the difficult times and really adapt to all of the the necessary changes. It's pretty incredible, and I think we should all be, pretty proud that we survived it.
I'd say we're free. No more jail. We're done with all the punishment. This has been by far the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Marriage was nothing. Having a baby was nothing. Medical school is hell. I would not repeat this again, so I would just tell everyone, enjoy the freedom.
I think we've come through a lot together as a class, and I know we'll do well. I know we'll do well in whatever field we've decided to take, whatever path we've decided to go down. And I think each one of us in our class is going to be an excellent doctor. I think KU faculty and staff really have made us feel welcome. Like I said, we've had our ups and downs, and we've been the experimental class, but I think it all turned out for the best. Absolutely.
They come up with some things that it's wonderful. The great suggestions that I may not have thought of, and when that happens, I really enjoy having students around. For example, I had a student pick up some joint deformities on a patient's hand at one point that I had not noticed because they were kind of zeroing in on details.
I think what I enjoy most about it is sharing the children with the students, to show them the joys of pediatrics, the challenges of pediatrics, and the students are like a breath of fresh air. They keep me fresh and on my toes, and force me to really think about the things that I'm doing and why. And often they challenge me to maybe make better decisions or to look at something more thoroughly than I might not if they weren't there.
Having students out here always challenges me to learn more, challenges me to be a better doctor. Not uncommonly, the students know something that I don't know about a particular disease state, and I often tell the students that they have to teach me something while I'm here too, so it's a real give and take relationship. Having a student out here is also stimulating for me in that it's just something different from the day-to-day routine, so it's fun.
I don't think of it as teaching, I think of it as learning together. So again, one of the reasons that I like the clinical skills class is that when I talk to them and help them learn to interview and examine patients, it helps me with my own patient care.
My philosophy is to basically teach them that to use the golden rule, treat others as you would be treated. I try to teach them with compassion and also understand that patient is a human being, and they're a daughter of or a son of somebody that loved them very much. Use that as your first and foremost step in treating a patient.
I don't necessarily want them to hone in on a given surgical problem that a patient might have, but I would like the students to see the patient as a whole. And I do realize that the first few years can be frustrating, dealing with all of the paperwork, tests, etc. And I think this might give them some release from that they might get besides Jimmy's Jigger.
I'm incredibly lucky in that regard. I'm lucky, first of all, to have the opportunity to do it, and I'm even more fortunate to have Dr. Chris Haller support me in doing this. My approach to dealing with the students in the 2 hours of exposure that I have, I try to tell them the basics of the business and legal worlds.
My expectations of the students, it's not always to answer every question correctly, but to question why don't I know that, and to go back and fill in the gaps, but also to not just think about the knowledge aspect of medicine, but also the human aspect of medicine, to try and put themselves in the shoes of the patient, to see how they might react in that same situation.
Well, the thing that's
very exciting about the ICU is that we take students at different levels. So we take students at really a very diverse level of experience and then try to advance them. So at the end of the month, they've reached a similar level or a circle of comfort, we say, in addressing critical issues. And so students need different levels of assistance and different levels of intellectual stimulation. We find in general that the Delp Society students are a little quicker, tend to
I make them take responsibility for the patients. I expect them to care for that patient like they're the only person who will be making sure that that patient gets everything that they need. And they respond well to it.
This is the only medical school I've ever worked at, and it's the only medical school I've ever wanted to work at. So I'm very proud of the fact that I get to work at the school that I went to, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to work with the students that are going to be graduates of this school. KU has always produced very good physicians, and to be a little bit of that process is really nice.
It's indeed a pleasure and an honor, and I'm extremely proud of the individuals that we produce here. I think we've got probably some of the best young people you could possibly have in a medical school, and I say that from the standpoint, again, not just from their hard work ethic, not only from their knowledge base, but also from their the human side.
Oh yes. I think I know, because I've been other places, I know we produce some of the best medical students and best residents in the country.